been having this vision. I've been having this vision. Either rise or you fall. I'm on a mission, bringing my dreams to fruition. I ain't playing at all. Bring out the body bags. I'm about to kill them, deliver them to the mortician. I gotta do what I gotta do. That's for my face, back in my face. I gotta do what I gotta do. I break it down. He never came. I'ma do me, I'ma do me. That's in my blood. I'll never change. That's in my blood. I'll never change. That's in my blood. I'll never change.
Welcome to the Corona Post Show. What a day, what an event, and what a classic result. Amazing finishes there for Ethan Ewing and also Tatiana Weston-Webb. Pete, your thoughts on what's unfolded the last 3 days? Are you all right?
I am okay, being that we have just gone through 3 days of perfect J-Bay and we're finishing up and we finished in awesome conditions. I mean, what better kind of event than you can have from day one, actually, I guess, second day of the waiting period. But once we got rolling, it was just non-stop action all the way to the end and finally could take a breath.
From the opening rounds, Laura, we saw very exciting surfing right through to crowning our champions.
Yeah, and this is the beauty of the condensed format, you know, this one swell, we got the whole competition done in these 3 days, and what a huge 3 days, but incredible viewing and just what surfing we've seen. It's been, whew.
We got so much to break down. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got the call bright and early this morning, and we got competition underway with the quarterfinals for the men. Moved straight into the semi-finals before crowning our champs this afternoon in dream conditions here at Jeffreys Bay. If you missed any of it, here's what unfolded in a jam-packed day of action. It was unbelievable. Tatiana Weston-Webb up against Tyler Wright in the final. So much on the line for Tatiana, who pushed hard to get herself into the final five. And she'll really look to confirm that position over there in Tahiti. But it's a big charge too for Tyler Wright, who came into this event in 10th spot. Is going to be charging up the ladder as well. But this is a big one for Tatiana, breaking through for a second victory this season. She had some slip-ups at different stages, but she would not be denied here at Jeffreys Bay. Just such a strong performance from her as we have a look at the results from the quarterfinals on to that epic clash and the return of Tyler Wright, getting her first opportunity here at Jeffreys Bay and proving that she's going to be a threat moving into this contest in the years to come. But Tatiana Weston-Webb, what a fantastic result. On the men's side, Ethan Ewing, he looked so sharp from the opening rounds of competition. Really had some beautiful moments, some great classic lines here at Jeffreys Bay. Came up against a guy that's been on fire in 2022, Jack Robinson, with a couple of victories already. Ethan Ewing getting into his first championship tour final and giving us surfing like this. So much variation, so much style, as I said before, and really just cut some deep tracks into these long walls. It's a huge moment for him, a massive confidence builder. He was inside the final five coming into this contest, but he's gone a long way to solidify his position, moving all the way to third position in the WSL Final Five, heading into the final stop of the regular season. Here's what unfolded from the quarterfinals. As you can see, big performances from surfers outside the final five to elevate their position on the ladder. But ultimately, Jack Robinson really locking in a great result once again and locking down that second spot. And in Tahiti, he'll have a shot. But Ethan Ewing, that was a monstrous performance. Kanoa Igarashi came into this event in sixth position, and this was an important heat for him. Italo Ferreira in the final five coming into this contest, and Kanoa held on. Showed great determination in the final stages, and again just seems to be tapping into that pinpoint timing that's seen him take a championship tour win in the past. And he'll be super inspired and really locking in on a huge result in Tahiti to give himself a title shot potentially at Trestles in September at the Rip Curl WSL Finals. Concerns for Italo Ferreira. An injury at the end of the heat, came into contact with his equipment, so we'll keep eyes on him. Stay tuned to WorldSurfLeague.com for updates on that. Jack Robinson, what a magic performance in this contest. Came into this event wanting to lock in his position in the WSL Final Five, and he has done it. And he had a beautiful read on the location. Such a good tube rider, but what really impressed everyone here this year was the rail turns from the surfer from Western Australia. A really interesting semi-final clash between Carissa Moore and Tatiana Weston-Webb, and just an uncharacteristic brain fade here from Carissa. crossed the path of Tatiana, and that is a priority interference, so she lost her second score, and from there Tatiana got the job done and got herself into a position to take this event out, which she ultimately did. And now she is charging up the leaderboard and getting herself right up to the top end, moving into third position. What a dominant performance from the Brazilian, breaking through as the first goofy footer to get a victory here at Jeffreys Bay too. And she was absolutely buzzing with the result. When we have a look at the men's rankings at the moment, there has been some movement here as well. Ethan Ewing jumping ahead of Italo. Callum Robson moved a little bit closer to that final five picture. And Kanoa Igarashi is knocking on the door of that top five as well. But it is going to be a really interesting event now. Have a look at the point spread between Felipe Toledo and Jack Robinson up at the top end. As you can see, not a whole lot separating these competitors. Check out worldsurfleague.com for all the news, all the big action coming your way, and obviously some amazing highlights from a great year at Jeffreys Bay. Well, let's get into it because we have a lot of stuff to break down here, Peter. It's just been a remarkable 3 days, non-stop action. I don't think we've seen this kind of consistency at Jeffreys Bay before. Usually you have competitors sitting out there, sometimes waiting more than half a heat to get their opening rides, but they had plenty of options to lock in big numbers.
It was the perfect storm. It really was. It had a lot of activity. It was a broad storm, which gave a lot of waves, very much high in consistency, even from the first day of competition all the way through to right now in the final. Lots of opportunity, maybe too much opportunity for all these surfers. Now, there's never such thing as too much opportunity, but I'll tell you what, it was. That's what made for an exciting event. We had the overlapping heat format that came in on the biggest day. We mowed through some heats and tons of action.
I love that. The overlapping day was huge. There was so much unfolding today. It was nice just to sit back, let those big storylines play out and find some very worthy champions. And it's time to crown them now. We're going to throw it down to the presentation with Paul Evans.
Thank you, Ron, and a very warm welcome to everybody to the prize giving for the Corona Open J-Bay 2022 presentation. Before we get this underway, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Sand people and their descendants. We recognise their continuing connection to the land and waters and thank them for protecting this coastline and its ecosystems since time immemorial. May we all find ways to walk gently and compassionately on these ancient lands and come to a place where every child ever born is respected, valued and has a strong sense of belonging. We are also deeply grateful for all our partners who joined us to lead environmental and social impact efforts here at Jeffreys Bay, J-Bay Surf Alliance, Sentinel Ocean Alliance. Once again, a very warm welcome to the awards presentation for the Corona Open J-Bay, the 9th stop on the 2022 World Surf League Championship Tour. What an unbelievable stop it's been. When the schedule comes out, I'm sure you, like me, look at certain events, and J-Bay just leapt out of this year's schedule. It's been 3 years away, 3 years too long, and we've come back in fine style. The energy on site has been incredible, and a lot of that is down to you guys. The support here has been unbelievable. So our first round of applause is for all our spectators here at Jeffreys Bay for helping make this event incredible. Unbelievable conditions as well, delivered to us through a pumping swell. Pretty much flawless conditions 3 days in a row. It's been absolutely epic to behold, and the performances in the water, unbelievable. We talk about some things in surf being timeless. We like to think this wave right here being timeless, but surfing is ever relentless in its progression, and I think we've seen that standard of surfing just ratchet up a notch here. Unbelievable performances from all of our surfers. It's time to thank our partners, our title partner, Corona. Thank you to our event partners, Juja Municipality, Eastern Cape Parks and Tourism Agency. Rosie gave me a little coaching. South Africa Tourism, Pura Vida, Red Bull, Oakley, Hydropass and Expedia. Special thank you to the local community here in Jeffreys Bay for sharing your wave with us. Thank you to Mayor of Juja Municipality, Horatio Hendricks, and thank you Eastern Cape Parks and Tourism. To help us award the trophies here on stage, got an esteemed panel of dignitaries. Let's welcome Graham Stableberg, WSL Africa General Manager. Round of applause for G. Renato Hickel, WSL Director of Tours and Competition. And a lady next to me, you might not need much of an introduction. Sharon Kruk, community icon responsible for putting the first pro surfing event here at Super Tubes. A very warm round of applause. Should we get into it? All right, let's welcome up to open up the prize giving, a man who's had an unbelievable year this year on tour. Got 2 event wins back to back, one over in Western Australia. The return to G-Land, got a win there too, and he's been unbelievable all week here at Jeffreys Bay. Electrifying performances, a bit of drama too, running up the rocks. Don't know if any of you guys have ever seen anyone run that fast on these rocks. Let's have a very warm welcome to the stage, your runner-up for the men, Jack Robinson. Well done, mate. Quick word, Jack. An epic performance from you, culminating in a final. Obviously, you would have loved to go all the way for a win, but what a final. We got a massive number with the 883. A lot happened, some incredible surfing for me. Your take on, or return for Jay, but first time competing here for you.
Yeah, it felt good to be back in South Africa. Yeah, finally happy just to be here for a few days, and I felt a good feeling as soon as I got here. Just felt good. It felt like Western Australia. It's like we broke off 1,000 years ago maybe, but same thing, you know. But yeah, really good event. It's a marathon, and good job to Ethan, surfing incredible all event. Yeah, I knew it was him or a couple guys that were going to go all the way, but yeah, it was a really good event.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Robinson, your runner-up. Meanwhile, it's time to welcome our winner's runner-up to the stage. A lady, 2 world titles behind her, and she's been very honest about some of the struggles she's had recently. We're stoked to see her back. We're stoked to see her surfing unbelievably well, throwing good numbers. Ultimately, didn't quite get there in the final, but another amazing performance. Welcome to the stage. Make some noise, Tyler Wright. Well, Tyler, a really close fought final between you and Tahiti. Some huge numbers going down in pretty much epic conditions here at J-Bay. Obviously, again, you would have loved to go for the win, but runner-up pretty decent at an iconic spot like this. Absolutely firing.
Yeah, runner-up is, you know, it's a lot of hard work that went into that. So, and Tatiana was clearly, for me, the standout of the event. She put so much hard work in, had so many great 9-point rides this entire event. So, you know, I knew I had my work cut out for me, but honestly, a second from where I started the week to where I ended up is huge improvements, and it's honestly just amazing to surf my first event here.
Let's hear it for Tyler Wright. Well, that leaves us with just a couple of orders of business remaining. We're going to welcome someone to the stage who we haven't seen surf here before in competition, but we thought about his style of surfing and what his strengths are and what he can do and what could be possible at a wave like this when it's absolutely firing, and we've seen those two forces of nature really come together, electrifying. A very warm round of applause for your champion for the men, Ethan Ewing. Ethan, mate, a couple of semi-finals, 3 of them for you this year on tour. A first win here, and not just any win, at J-Bay, one of the iconic spots in global surfing and absolutely pumping waves. Getting a 9 in the final as well, a great final with Jack. Your thoughts on that final?
Yeah, I've been so inspired by Jack this year. He's had a really incredible year, getting wins, and I hadn't had a win yet, and I was just coming here, I just didn't put any pressure on myself, and yeah, Jack started off so well with the 8, and I kind of just tried to keep my composure, and yeah, it feels incredible.
And mate, getting that first win, you think you can go, where can you go from here? The sky's the limit, right?
Yeah, going to Chopes next. I haven't spent too much time there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, your champion for the men, Ethan Ewing. Well, we've been chatting amongst the commentary team. One of the subjects has been the challenges of surfing this wave on your backhand. There's been some greats down the years, but generally speaking, it's the surfers facing the wall who've been able to make the best of it. Someone decided to flip that script this week. She absolutely attacked this place. Fearless performance in clutch situations. A very, very worthy champion for the women, Tatiana Weston-Webb. Congratulations, get a quick word with you. What an event this has been, unbelievable. The conditions that we've been blessed with, just relentless in the final. Some massive numbers coming from you. You got a great start and you never look back from there.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone that came down to support us. It was so beautiful to have all you guys on the beach after 3 years of not having competition here. So thank you. And then as well as just to have perfect waves for the event. Thanks to the locals that gave up their lineup for a week for us. It was just phenomenal. And I'd like to thank Greg Browning, who's been here with me, supporting me and not sleeping at all. And then Ross Williams, my coach. And then, this one was dedicated to my brother, Troy, because he's really fearless. And I just try to take after him and not be scared of big sections.
Jumping up into the top 5 with this result here. Just Tahiti yet to come. That's a place a lot of people got high expectations for you. You must be relishing that challenge.
I'm really excited for Chopu, but right now I'm just living in the moment here at J-Bay. So thank you everyone for all the support. I love you guys.
Let's hear it for your women's champion, Tatiana Weston-Webb. Well, it's going to wrap things up from our presentation, barring one important moment. What have we got to do to get a Corona shower around here? Can we get some Coronas going? I think we need a little bit of moisture on stage. Your champions and your finalists. Thanks once again, you guys. Another massive round of applause. Please make some noise.
Great job there, Paul, and a fantastic moment. Our champions are crowned here at the Corona Open J-Bay. I like that. Need to get a bit of moisture on stage, and they are going to relish this celebration. As Tatiana Weston-Webb said, it's about being in the moment now. That was a monumental event, one for the history books, and very deserving champions. And we're going to have a look at their road through to the final. There they are on screen, lapping up this moment. And it's a very special one.
Getting the selfie with all the finalists. I love it. Yeah, Tati has been, again, I think that she was a standout performer. Tyler had nailed it on the head about, just so determined to make it through each and every heat, doing everything she needed to do in order to turn it. And then the final, she, saved the best for last.
Well, yesterday in the bigger conditions, no one really attacked the end sections like Tatiana Weston-Webb did. And I think that was the big confidence builder that she could go on and dominate finals day. And she certainly did it. And, she did get the benefit of Carissa's mistake with that priority. We're going to no doubt have a closer look at it. But thinking about the road to the final for Ethan Ewing, it wasn't an easy one, Pete. And there was surfers putting up bigger individual scores, but he continued to just post high range 7s on his road through to that victory.
Consistency, and he was able to do it each and every time. And again, we're talking about some of the best J-Bay that we've ever had for an event. Consistently, we've seen days come together, but not 3 consecutive days where we had just optimum conditions as far as the winds go. I mean, literally, I'm looking over my shoulder now, and it's gone straight on shore. It's choppy on the face. We were able to finish in beautiful conditions, so this one was just mapped out perfectly.
There was some trickier surf for the competitors in the quarterfinals, though, Laura. There was a bit of texture on the surface, but once things cleaned up, I felt like Ethan's chances maybe even improved.
Yeah, this morning was hard when we woke up. There was a lot of water moving and the swell was just pulsing through But yeah, Ethan Ewing, he's just shown glimpses and over and over again what he's able to do. His timing so impeccable, the way he can place his board in the pocket and keep his calves so unrailed. It's just really, really incredible to watch. So I think seeing Ethan Ewing come alive here has been a very special thing.
Well, he did get the 9 in that semifinal, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh, I can do 9s? Okay, cool. It just opened up the door for him.
It sure did, but it was Jack Robinson who really, I think, threw the gauntlet down in the opening stages of the final, getting himself an excellent score and almost changing up his approach.
Yeah, well, and the conditions asked for it, and I think that's something that you have to do as a surfer, as a professional surfer, as the conditions can change, within your heat, so you got to be able to adapt to it.
Yeah, Jack Robinson, him adapting this year to every condition and always being in the fight till the very end of every heat. You can never count him out. But this was the wave that took Ethan Ewing into the lead, and what a wave it was. It was a hard wave to surf, but he just did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, big turns like that. Just climbed up into the bowl, and the thing with Ethan, Pete, is that there was no glitches in his flow between his manoeuvres. I feel like that's where he maybe found just that slight edge over Jack in the final.
Yeah, and this was actually, I think, Laura, the way you thought it's the 9 right here.
Yeah,
and that's where it turned it, gave him the lead, and he didn't relinquish it. I mean, there were some chances at the end for Jack, but I mean, these two vital turns on this bigger set wave, that's where it was the difference.
Laura, it felt like the whole event, the judges really reserved the big numbers, the 9-point rods for the surfers that got on the big set waves and let go of those huge turns that really did see the surfers traverse from the top of the wall right down into the bowl. So I think that's where Ethan found the edge with the 9.13.
Yeah, I agree, Ronnie. I think, throughout this event, and especially today, the smaller waves were the waves running along the point with more top to bottom, just with more top to bottom on them, and then the sets were quite fat. So I think for Ethan to find a set that was top to bottom, that's where the difference was and why he got up into the 9-point range.
Tatiana Weston-Webb had a huge goal, Pete, coming into this event in 6th position on the leaderboard, and she wanted to get herself up into that WSL Final 5, and we're going to have a look at her road through to the final. Didn't drop a heat, made that opening round count, and made the jump directly into the quarters.
Well, that makes it a little easier, but it's one less heat in the waters of J-Bay. But she has been able to be on the bigger set waves. You had mentioned how she was the one on the bigger day to be able to capitalize on those bigger sections. The quarterfinals for the women actually ran yesterday, so they were able to have that finals quarterfinal in the bigger conditions.
Yeah, I think yesterday it was Tatiana and Steph that really shone through in the bigger conditions. But, I think it's fair to say that Tatiana eyed off the most critical part of these tall walls, maybe better than anyone. And that's why she really did get the big numbers and the confidence to go on with the job today.
Yeah, it really felt like Tatiana took a lot of inspiration from, the boys like Italo, Gabby, what they've been able to do on their backhand here in the last few years. And this was the moment in the semi-final against Carissa Moore, the interference. Not a high-scoring semi-final at all for Tatiana, but all she needed to do was get over 10 points, and she made, it impossible for Carissa to get through.
Yeah, it took her a while to get there.
Yeah.
And that must have been a scary moment for her.
I mean, that's the thing is that, all of a sudden it affects both surfers, Obviously Tati doesn't want to win that way, and then all of a sudden you're like struggling in your head to find 10 points, which can be a challenge. She was able to do it, and it put the lights out. I mean, ultimately you get one whole wave taken away. It's a definite disadvantage. Just
the way that the semi-finals played out, it felt like Tyler Wright had a fantastic opportunity here, but Tatiana's making a real point of just shutting down finals with big performances, holds her nerve, doesn't get overwhelmed by the occasion anymore. She's starting to rack up the victories pretty consistently.
Yeah, for Tatiana to reset after that semi-final and just go out into the final and drop an 8-point, I think it was 7.93 straight away. This was her first wave of the heat, and that last one was the 9-point ride, which was, just shut the door for Tyler Wright. She needed a 9.33 in the end. So Tatiana just finding these huge top to bottom committed turns. It's just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, that first exchange, I mean, Tyler had the 7.5 and then it was 7.93 to Tati. So a very first even exchange, but that's when the 9 came in and that put it almost out of reach for Tyler.
Yeah, and just on Tyler for a moment, you know, you think about last year, she got to 6th position, was only just missed the finals, and she did skip an event. So she's missed a few. She's making her charge late, but the big mover here at the Corona Open JBay was Tatiana Weston-Webb, getting herself well into the WSL Final 5 at the moment. And there are the champs, the finalists on screen at the moment. And there are the scores. Super impressive in both finals.
Yeah, 17.50, another excellent heat for Weston-Webb right there. 8.7 and a 7.5. I mean, so both finals, you know, excellent numbers getting placed up there. So it was exciting, and we loved that. It was 40 minutes of just pure bliss.
Well, we still got so much more to talk about here at the Corona Open JBay. Stay with us. This is the post show, and we've still got to have a look at some other big stories that unfolded here this year. Welcome back to the Corona Post Show. You can look forward to the Tahiti Pro, which will kick off in August. Looking forward to watching it all unfold, that final leg in the race for the WSL Final 5. And it's going to be intense because some of those places are being solidified by some competitors. Ethan Ewing moving up into 3rd position now. Pretty impressive performance from him.
That and Tatiana Weston-Webb moving into 3rd place, but it's still very open, especially on the women's side. I was just looking at the numbers here. It's pretty tight. I mean, you still got a lot of shuffling that could happen. I mean, Tatiana went up to 42,000 points, but then at 41,000 some change for Steph. You know, Brisa is right there in the top 5 as well, but then behind that, you got Lakey Peterson just not very far behind, less than 1,000 points. Tyler Wright all the way up to 7th with 36,000 points. So going into Tahiti, still a lot can happen.
Yeah, let's have a look back at one of the big performers in Tahiti over the years, the most winning surfer over there, Kelly Slater. Got a victory in 2016, Pete. Just incredible in barreling waves. He proved again that he is the man to beat this year at stop number 1.
Yeah, and I would imagine that we'll hopefully the swell forecast is there, so we get to see Kelly once again. Ultimately, I think he's planning on going to Tahiti. Even if it's just mediocre Tahiti, he still could win that event, you know, and he's one of the best barrel riders in the business. Still, even at a bit older now, he has been able to produce big numbers. We saw it win at the Pipe Masters again. Amazing performance there this season. And maybe bookends the season with a pair of wins. Never know.
He's certainly capable. Just brilliant performances that he's had out there. And for the first time, we are going to see the women tackling Tahiti in a number of years. It used to be on the schedule, but I just think we can expect a really committed performance from the women there. I know Stephanie Gilmore, Caroline Marks are going to get there nice and early and get some sessions in. But there is a look at the schedule. Just one more event to come. And then we've got the Rip Curl WSL Finals to look forward to in September.
Man, oh man. I mean, what a schedule. You know, finally, I mean, it was a little tough, those last couple events with not the greatest conditions in the world, but made up big time here.
Super compressed too. It's been a really hectic run for the competitors and staff, but it's been great to reach this point in the season. There is a bit of breathing room now between this event, Jeffreys Bay, and the next stop in Tahiti. But let's have a look at the Final 5 picture heading into that final event, and we'll have a look at who we think can make that charge or hold on to that position. But we've got 4 surfers that have clinched now. Ethan Ewing's got to be getting close here too, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can see just the 3, 4, and 5 are separated by just 3,000 points, you know, and then right behind that we saw that Kanoe Igarashi, he was able to close the gap a little bit on that Final 5 picture because he's right there as well. And again, behind Brisa, you know, there's Lakey Peterson's right there. You also have Tyler Wright. So there's a lot of shuffling, like I said, that could happen.
And the big shift in the women's side was, you know, Lakey was at number 3 coming into this event, and she shifted down all the way out of the top 5 into number 6. So that was, for Stephanie Gilmore, Brisa Hennessy, and Lakey Peterson, watching Tatiana make that jump from 6 up to 3 today would have been pretty tough. But Tatiana don't care about that.
Don't care. I like it. That was an amazing just picture there. Tatiana making the move in. The men's final 5 remains the same, but Kanoa Igarashi really close there in 6th position.
Yeah, just to close that gap is what he did. There was a little shift inside of that as well, but he's at 35,525. We saw that Griffin was at 36.8. So again, just looks like just one heat separating those two.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's dive into the final top 5 moments, I should say, from what has been an epic 3 days of competition here at the Corona Open J-Bay. Here they are, the top 5. And let's kick it off. South Africa. They had 4 surfers to cheer on in the men's event, and they put up some big numbers. And Maddie McGilvray, one of the highest scoring surfers of the contest, Laura.
Maddie McGilvray was one of my picks to win this, and that heat that he had against Ethan Ewing yesterday was just, they were going back to back. It was perfect J-Bay. The surfing he was doing this event right out of the gates when he won his first round was just impeccable. And same with the wildcards. Luke Thompson here.
He was amazing, wasn't he?
Just incredible. He's 18 years old, surfing as like he's been on tour for a long time. And Josiah,
gotta love it, right? Very much the crowd favorite. I think of all these 4 South Africans, Jose had the most influence in the crowd. They loved him. But Jordy, I think he's the king. He's always been one of the most crowd favorites here at J-Bay specifically, and I think today he would have liked his chances. But unfortunately that quarterfinal didn't really work out for him.
Yeah, you've got to surf it in all conditions to get that victory, and probably the trickiest heat of the day was quarterfinal number 4. But Jordy Smith, he'll always collect big results here at Jeffreys Bay. Number 4, surfers getting the job done here at Jeffreys Bay. Joanne Defay clinching her position, getting a world title shot once again.
That's so cool, and she again just very surprised at the situation. And then also Jack Robinson with his performance. I think he was pretty much a lock considering what we have on tap for our last event of the season, but ultimately he came away as a finalist here, and you got to love that, clinched his spot into the final 5.
All those surfers at the top end of the ladder really just want to hang on to these seeds and surf less heats when they get to the Rip Curl WSL Finals. Coming in at number 3, Yago Dora, just so strong on the backhand, particularly yesterday in those bigger conditions. Gave us some real highlight moments and one of the highest scoring surfers of the event.
Yago has cemented himself in as one of the best backside surfers on tour, up there with the Italos, the Gabriels here at J-Bay, getting 9.5, the highest score of the event, and going to the air as well in offshore winds. So hard to do, but just, the whole crowd was just losing it watching Yago. He was just going inverted at J-Bay. Those knees, so bendy.
Yeah, that was that wave that he needed right there at the end there. We're trying to get the 8.8. It just came up just a bit shy.
Coming in at number 2 and breaking through for a second victory of the season, just powering up the ratings into that final 5 picture is Tatiana Weston-Webb. Her backhand so strong, the first goofy footer to win on the women's side here at Jeffreys Bay.
Really, really cool, and I think the biggest part of what she was able to achieve was the fearless factor on these inside sections. She was not shy about going into it. Very tough to do and very brave. She did a good job there.
Really impressive. But at number 1, it's Ethan Ewing getting into his first championship tour final. Just silky smooth on his road through to this effort, and really put the foot on the gas up against Jack Robinson in the final to get his first win, Pete.
Floodgates are open. I feel like this is, again, the little monkey off the back of, wanting to win because he's seen Griffin Colapinto this season, fellow teammate. Also, Jack Robinson, another youngster, just a little bit younger than him, to be able to get there and finally do it. I really feel like this is a winning formula for him.
The emotion, Laura, we've never seen it from Ethan Ewing like that before.
No, we haven't. He's usually the quietest in his interviews, the most reserved. He's such a nice guy, just very, very nice and humble. But to see him let out that emotion, it just showed how much this meant to him. The biggest moment of his career so far, and the start of something special I think we're going to see from Ethan Ewing. He's unlocked that winning feeling, and I think he could be really dangerous from now on.
Tahiti's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Like we said, they're going to be really dying to hang on to those seeds at the top end and surf less heats, so he'll be going after another victory over there in Tahiti, August 11th, Pete.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and again, getting that just to be able to lock his spot and heading into trestles, I really like his chances.
Do you know what's going to be really interesting at Chopu?
Tell me.
The top seeds coming up against the wild cards there.
Oh, it's going to be
Tune in.
intense. Well, it all kicks off on August 11th, the Tahiti Pro, but stay tuned to WorldSurfLeague.com. We hope you enjoyed the Corona Open J-Bay as much as we love bringing it to you. We'll leave you with highlights, and we'll see you over there in the Pacific in the not-too-distant future.
Welcome, everybody, back to the shores of Supertube's Jeffreys Bay.
The Corona Open J-Bay, and everyone's very excited. What a battle between Gabriella Bryan and Carissa Moore.
Carissa Moore speeding down the line. There's the hack off the top.
Tati gets another goofy win, straight through to the quarters.
Here goes J-Bay's very own Matt McGillivray.
Again, what a combination on the outside.
I'm so grateful to everyone for coming down to watch. Yeah, let's do South Africa proud.
Joanne Faye, she has clinched her spot in the WSL Final 5, and she will get a shot at a world title come September. Good morning once again from the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Day 2 of competition. Oh, I can't wait to see what unfolds today.
Chasing down Philippe Toledo for a potential heat win. And Jaeger Dora's in the tube on the backhand. It's not easy, but he'll come out. He'll go in again. Oh, yes, he'll come out! Oh, come on!
Just one of those gifted waves, and I knew right then I was going to get what I needed.
Jack Robinson is absolutely flying through a barrel here. Shut the front door, Jack Robinson.
As we see now, Italo on the outside. Unbelievable backhand snap. I think one of the most high-risk turns that we've seen on that outside section yet. Just fell out of the sky and still has the momentum as he tucks into the tube. Will he come through this one? He's driving, and he reappears. With quarterfinal number 1 shaping up beautifully. Tyler Wright up against Joanne Faye.
Tyler Wright up and riding.
And Steph's got great control on these bigger waves.
Yeah, it's 10 out of 10 out there. These are the days when you just, you can't imagine it gets any better.
Finals day on the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Swell absolutely pumping once again.
Robinson, nice tube to get started out onto the open face. Holds that rail, deals with the bump nicely and tucks in once again. It looks like it's going to be enough to turn the quarterfinal heat and get him a place in the semi-final. Here is the semi-final for the women. Tyler Wright is on her way to the final here at the Corona Open J-Bay.
Men's semi-final number 1 in the water right now.
I can ever stop, but I'll keep on flying till the day I die.
Ethan Ewing, big hook off the top. Nice power and acceleration out of that turn.
In the women's final, about to take to the water. Tatiana Weston-Webb, massive hammer, airdrop to finish as well, an explosion at wide water. An unbelievable moment here for Tatiana Weston-Webb, who is your champion.
He's going to pace it, he's going to attack it. Looking for the requirements and more now. Ethan Ewing down the track. Will want to drive the score home. Huge wrapping turn, he loves it.
Ethan Ewing, his first championship tour win here at stop number 9, the Corona Open J-Bay.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.